Hi everyone. This is a game that I think we've looked at before called, well, there's various names for it. It's called Cross the Swamp, or you might hear it called various other things. And I just like to put a different spin on it, just to create more ways of building number sentences. So it's all about developing the use of the four operations and counting on, counting back, and so on. So basically what's going to look like, we're going to deal out all the cards into piles here. So deal the whole deck out evenly, and the top card will be face up. And then what we then do is player one will roll the two dice, make a two-digit number, or you could just have other cards where you turn them over, and I get a number. It could be, I don't know, 67. So a 6 and 7 comes up, I can say, okay, the target's 67 or 76, and I have to use one card from each pile to make an equation that equals 67. Now, in other ways this game's been played, I've seen people say they can only go 6 plus this, take away this, times that. But I'm, to encourage greater flexibility, I'm also placed with my kids. We do things like 42 plus 7, take away 9. So we're using place value as well. So I could use a card here and make it 47, or my opponent might say 4 times 7 plus 3, take away 6, and so on. So if I am able to make an equation that gives me an answer to that 47, I collect a counter. If after a certain amount of time you can decide what's a reasonable amount of time, my opponent can have a crack, and they might be thinking, yeah, I've got something worked out, I've got something I can do here. If they can do it on your turn, they collect 2 counters. Okay, so I don't know, maybe a minute or so. You know, horses for courses, you know the ability levels of your kids. If it's taking way too long, then just keep the game moving. Now, then the next player has their turn. They roll the dice, they make a number. Now, it might turn up that we can't make a number at all. So in those situations, you can maybe turn a card over from each pile and put it on the bottom of the deck, so you've got a new number exposed. You might like to use 47 again, or you might like to just leave the cards as they are and then roll and make a new number. So we just take it in turns, seeing can we use one number from each row of cards to make an equation that gives us the target number. Here's what it looks like. All right, here's my take on Cross the Swamp. I've divvied out the cards evenly, and you'll see that I've got just the top card in each pile turned over. So, player one rolls the 2 dice, and they've got a 0 and a 3, so they can make 3. Well, that'll be a bit hard. For some of the older kids, that would be a good challenge for them. They've got to take a card from one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, and then come up with an answer that's equal to 3. I might go for 30 to make it easier today. One of the most obvious things that the kids might do, they might add. They might go 6 plus 10 is 16, plus 4 is 20, plus 7 is 27. Oh, I'm getting close. Maybe I need to use 2 10s. So if I've got 10, that's 20, 24 plus 7, oh, it's 31, so I'm getting closer. What if I said I need to come up with a bit of a combination of lower and high? So I'm going to have to use the 10s. What if I said 4 plus 10 is 14, 14 plus 4 is 18, 18 plus 7, no, still not getting there. That was just using just addition. What if I said something like 4 times 3 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16, 16 plus 7, 20, I'm getting closer. That was using a combination of multiplication and addition. I said 9 divided by 3 is 3, 3 times 10 is 30, 30 divided by, or 30, oh no, nothing there works, but I'm getting closer and closer. So you could say, you could decide amongst yourselves, is there a time limit, or do you get 3 tries? I could also do things like 44 take away 10 is 34, take away 4 is 30. There we go, get it. So if I did that, I got a correct one. Oh, I got it right, so I get a counter. But if I was taking way too long and my opponent says, look, I've got one, I've exhausted all my chances, all my solutions, I haven't got anything, my opponent will say, I've got one. And if you say, yeah, well, give it a go, you might be right, you might not be. If they do it, then they collect 2 counters. Now, we might be stuck on 30 for ages, and between us we can't work anything out. So in those situations, we then take 1 card out from each pile, put it on the bottom, turn one over. Take in turns, put that one there, and so on and so on. So we've got a new set of cards to try and make 30 or 3. Or after each go, you might decide, okay, let's just make a whole new number, 73, 37. Different ages, different abilities. If you wanted to make it simpler for younger kids, just go like that, or you could even just go like that, 1 card from each row. You can change this so many ways. You could even reduce the range of the numbers. You might just use numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and just use 6-sided dice. You could come up with so many ways. If you look at the flower principle video that I've got in the channel there, it's all about talking about the different ways you can make combinations of games and modifications. This one's got a lot of legs to it. I hope you have fun with it. I'm looking forward to doing it with my kids next week. Cheers.